Hello everybody, my name is Shiloh Lundahl and I am a real estate investor based out of Arizona, and I buy a lot of real estate. In fact, this upcoming week I'm really excited because I'm going to the Bigger Pockets conference. So I got my Bigger Pockets hat on, I got my Bigger Pockets shirt on, and I am ready to go. And in preparation for this great conference, I've actually been practicing buying real estate. So today I'm going to show you how you can practice buying real estate and win at the game of Monopoly. That's right, the game of Monopoly. I know a lot of people think that there's not much to it, but there's a lot to it, and I'm going to show you how to win at this game. And you can take these principles and you can apply it to how to win at real estate. About 2.5 years ago, I posted a video on how to win at Monopoly, but today I'm going to actually show you how I win at Monopoly. Let's get to it. All right, so this is the app that I have on my iPhone. And what's great about this is I can play Monopoly with anybody out in the world. There are 3 other people that I've never met before. I don't know who they are, but they're also logged in to play this game at the same time as I'm playing it. So I got Vita, I got Andy, I got Elite Gold 638. I don't think Elite Gold 638 actually put their name down as that. They just probably have the default setting name for their name. Now, I've never met these people before, and you can see that my name is ShilohVideos.com because that's a way that people can find my videos on YouTube by going to ShilohVideos.com. So it's a little advertisement, I guess. But let's get to it. All right, so as you can see, we've already started the game. We're already into it. Andy's already gone and purchased a property here at Pennsylvania Railroad. Then Elite Gold went and got an 11 and purchased St. Charles Place. Now we have Vita, who rolled and got Oriental Avenue. So here I am, number 4, rolling. Let's see how well I do. All right, come on. Ah, okay, well, I'm visiting jail. So everybody so far has a property and I have none. Next, we have Andy going and getting Kentucky. All right, all right. Now Elite Gold goes and gets $200 in community chest. And Vita went ahead and purchased Virginia Avenue. All right, so it's my turn again. Come on, let's go. 7. Well, that's a bummer. So now I go to community chest rather than purchasing a property. Well, I collect $100, so that's not bad. But still, at the very beginning of the game, it's really helpful to actually land on properties, because when you don't and everybody else lands on property, it's harder to win the game. All right, so we got Andy, who just went and bought his 3rd property at Atlantic Avenue. So he has 3 and I have none. And Elite Gold just bought his 2nd property at Illinois Avenue. All right, it's my turn again. Come on. Let's do this. Oh, are you serious? I still haven't gotten a property. Now I've paid Elite Gold and I'm still behind compared to everybody else. Andy went and landed on Short Line. Now, I really like the railroads personally. Now, Andy has 4 properties and I have 0 properties. Now, Elite Gold goes and lands on North Carolina Avenue and has purchased his 3rd property already. And there goes Vita, who's purchased her 3rd property. All right, come on. All right, I got 12. All right, so not bad. I'm now up, $230 since I started, so not too bad. I had some luck. I landed on a couple of things that gave me some money. Oh, here I go. Landing on income tax. I always seem to land on that space. All right, so here's my first property. I went around the entire board. I gained a couple hundred, lost a couple hundred, and now I have landed on Connecticut Avenue. And personally, I think that is the best space on the board, and I'll show you why in a little bit. All right, now we have Elite Gold, who just landed on Boardwalk. A lot of people really like Boardwalk. For some reason, they feel like that is the best place when it comes to buying real estate at the game of Monopoly. But I don't know, it's really expensive, and it's really expensive to build there. So yeah, if you get a hotel on there, you're pretty much gonna wipe anybody out. However, you know how much it costs to actually get a hotel on Boardwalk? Well, it costs $1,000 just to get the hotel. It costs $400 just to buy the property. But you can't just buy the property and put a hotel there. Obviously, you have to buy that property, and you have to buy Park Place, and then you have to build houses equally. So really, you're looking at spending about $2,750 in order to get hotels on both Boardwalk and Park Place. And everybody starts out the game the same with $1,500. So it's really difficult to build hotels there unless you are able to get something that provides more cash flow during the game. So here we are. All right, so Vita tried to make an offer. All right, so it looks like Vita and Andy made a deal together, which is kind of a bummer for me because you have Vita who has these 2 light blue properties and I have the other one, and those are my favorite properties. So Vita's probably going to feel like he or she has the advantage and deserves to get the entire monopoly. So that's a bummer for me. All right, so far I have 2 properties. And if you look around the board, you have Vita who has 3 properties. You have Elite Gold who has, 6 properties. And then you have Andy who has 5 properties. All right, so here I go again. Let's see, come on, come on. Awesome. All right, so I just landed on New York Avenue, which to me is like the second best property. So, I know it probably doesn't look very good, but I have a pretty good feeling I'm going to win this game. Now, maybe y'all think that I have this hubris going on, that I think that I'm just the greatest and that I'm going to win. You may be a little right, but still, I'm pretty sure I'm going to win. Check that out. I just got somebody to land on my property. That's 16 bucks coming to me. Feeling pretty good, feeling pretty good. Uh-oh. That was a close one. I thought Vita and Elite Gold were going to make a deal. You see, they have a lot of shared properties, meaning that, they have a lot of properties that complement one another. If they make a deal, I think this could go really bad for me. Uh-oh. Vita's looking like making a deal with Elite Gold again. Let's see what happens. Oof. Park Place for the 2 purple and 1 brown. And they did it. Oh no, this could go very bad for me. All right, so let's see what's going to happen. So now I have Vita, who has these purple properties, Virginia, States Avenue, and St. Charles Place, and also Baltic and Mediterranean, which I think are kind of crappy properties. But that's what Vita has. Now, are you serious? Vita only put 1 house on St. Charles Place and 1 house on Baltic. Why in the world would she do that? That's awful. Well, on the good news, I just got a railroad. So again, I really like the railroads. I just got a railroad, so I'm pretty happy about that. But going back to Vita, why in the world would, with $746, she only put on there 1 house on each? Look at this person, Andy. They just rolled a 2 and they landed on Vita's property. You know what? If I were Vita, I would have gone ahead and I would have built just on the purple. I wouldn't have built on the brown, on Mediterranean or Baltic. I would have gone ahead and mortgaged those, and I probably would have mortgaged the light blue, and I would have just built on the purple properties, which would have just given her a great return because you had Andy who just landed on it. Okay, well, here we are. We had Elite Gold just landed on my property again, twice in a row, paid me another 16 bucks. I'm pretty happy about that. All right, so now Vita started to build, but look at how Vita started to build. She put 1 house on each of the purple properties. Oh, now we got 2 houses. We got one house on Virginia and States and 2 houses on St. Charles Place. But then, for some reason, Vita thought it was a good idea to build on the brown properties and put 2 houses on each. Now, this is the thing. The brown properties really are the D-class properties. So the properties that are likely not going to win you the game. And they're like D-class properties in real life that just seem cheap, but the thing is they only attract the lower class tenants and you're tending to spend a lot of money and not get much of a return. And those are, in my opinion, the D-class properties. All right, let's see where else we're at. All right, so we got Vita again, who just landed on Waterworks. And so, wow. So I have electric company. Vita has Waterworks. Now, electric company isn't my favorite company, but it does create a good return sometimes if you have both properties, both electric company and Waterworks. And right now I only have electric company, but let's see if I can use that to trade up. You see, that's another really important part to this game is the idea of trading up. So I like to buy as many things as I can in order to use those things to trade and get some of the properties that I really want. All right, so we have Elite Gold who just landed on Tennessee Avenue. Darn. All right, so the orange properties that I really like, it looks like I'm going to have to do some bartering in order to get those. But Elite Gold did just land on my railroad, and so I just got 25 bucks from that, so that makes me pretty happy. All right, Vita just went to jail. Looks like the law finally caught up with her. Good, good. Happy about that. All right, so, but man, Vita's now gone and started to build more. All right, so Vita has $26 to her name. She also has some other properties, and here's my turn. You see that? I told you, I seem to always land on income tax. Man, that is a bummer. Just when I thought I'm getting ahead, I'm landing on income tax, which in real life is kind of lame, but it happens. All right, so I'm going to try to make a deal with Vita here. So I really want those 2 light blue properties, and I'm thinking about either giving her New York Avenue, or what else can we do? Because I really like to keep New York. How about this? How about I give Vita the electric company and $200, and let's see if she would be willing to give me those 2 light blue properties. So Vita's considering it, and she rejected my offer. Now, I personally don't like rejection, but it happens a lot in this game. All right, so let's do another trade. How about this, Vita? So I'll give you New York Avenue and electric company worth $350 for those 2 light blue properties. They're only worth about $200 together. And I was rejected again. Again, you got to get used to rejection in this game. All right, so when you take a look around, you see that I have $1,045. So I do have more money than everybody else. But also when you look around, I only own 1, 2, 3, 4 properties, whereas the other people all own more than that. All right, dang it. I landed on St. Charles Place that has 2 houses. Now that's going to cost me $150. So now I just went below $1,000, which is a bummer. So let's see what happens next. All right, now I'm getting kind of crazy. So I'm telling Vita I'm willing to trade you my railroad, New York Avenue, and electric company for your 2 light blue properties. And guess what? Vita, she rejected me again. That is frustrating. Now I'm starting to get a little worried. I'm wondering, okay, well, what is my pathway to victory here? You have Vita, who already has 2 monopolies. So Vita's motivation to trade with me and give me a monopoly is pretty low. So, oh man, that's kind of stressful here. I'm thinking, well, the other option I have would be to get the orange properties, but you know, they cost twice as much to build on as the light blue properties. And to be honest, I like to have both. I like to have the light blue properties and I like to have the orange properties. Usually when I have both sets of monopolies, I usually win. All right, now Andy went to jail, which serves him right. He needs to stop breaking the law. So what is my path to victory here? I think I'm going to keep going after those light blue properties, but you have to make it work somehow. All right, it's my turn again. Come on. Okay, get some good. Get a 2 or an 8. Nope, I got a 6. That's a bummer. Well, Andy just paid to get out of jail. He just landed on St. James Place. Ugh. Now it looks like the orange properties are shared by 3 people, but wait a second. There's a trade going on. Dang it. So Andy and Elite Gold just made a trade. So now Andy owns 2 of the orange properties. Now Andy probably feels like he owns a majority of the monopoly, which he does. So it's probably going to be kind of hard to get him to trade both of those properties to me. So now I am starting to sweat a little bit, feeling like I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage here at this game. All right, what do I got here? Man, I am just not landing on many properties. Yay, get out of jail free. That's awesome. But I would have rather landed on a property that I could trade. Oh boy, that's sad for Andy. Just went to St. Charles Place where he's going to need to pay $150 to Vita. But he did go past go, and so he collected $200. So he still is ahead by $50, but Vita now has 157, which means that Vita can go ahead and build more houses. And by the way, if I had monopolies like Vita has in this game right now, I probably would have won the game. And the reason is because I know how to build houses while other people are kind of dinking around here and there. All right, let's see what well, there I go again. Landed on Mediterranean, paid $30. You see, I told you, even with 2 houses, only $30. Vita had to spend $60 just to buy the property and an additional $100 in order to put 2 houses on it. But Vita only got back $30. So not a great cash on cash return. So I'm back up above 1,000, but I still don't have many properties that I can actually build on. Uh-oh, here we go. Andy just got a monopoly. So now Vita has 2 monopolies, Andy has 1 monopoly, And those were the people that I was going to look towards trading with in the future in order to help me get a monopoly. So now their motivation to get me a monopoly is probably pretty low. Yay. Look at Vita. She just landed on Reading Railroad. I really like the railroads. And so I only had one railroad. Here Vita is. She has a railroad, she has 2 monopolies, and she has 2 of the properties that I really want. All right. Well, good news is I didn't land on one of her properties. I landed in between her properties. Let's see. Okay, come on, Vita. Let's see what you want to do here. Now I'm willing to do some more trading. I'll even give you the railroad, which I really like. And I will give you electric company. If you wouldn't mind just parting with those 2 light blue properties. Come on, what do you say? What do you say, Vita? Come on, considering my trade, and rejected again. Okay, Vita, let's try this again. All right, so I'm going to give you my railroad. I'm going to give you the electric company. And I just want those 2 light blue ones, but I'm also going to give you $200. Come on, this is a value of $450 to $200. Come on, Vita, come on. What does Vita say? Amateur. I just got a monopoly. Yes, I did have to give away my railroad, which I really like, and I gave away the electric company. So now Vita has another monopoly with the electric company and waterworks. But now I have my monopoly of choice, which is the light blue properties, and I also had $800 at the time. So you better believe I'm going to go ahead and put 3 hotels on there right away. The other people are probably thinking, Vita, what did you do, you idiot? Why would you do that? He's going to win now. Because I probably am. And that's one of the ways that you win at Monopoly, is buying the light blue properties and putting hotels on there as soon as you can. And the way that relates to real estate investing is you want to buy some cash flowing properties where you can go in, build some equity into there, and then as you have these cash flowing properties that produce some equity, you're then able to go and leverage that in order to gain more capital or lines of credit in order to buy more properties. Now, I don't want to over leverage, but that's the one way that I have built a rental portfolio, is through doing the BRRRR method, where I go and I buy under market value. I'm able to add value and force equity, which then helps my portfolio look good to banks, which then are able to give me lines of credit in order to help me continue to buy more real estate. So let's see where we're at right now. So it looks like I'm now up above $600. It looks like Vita, after trading me the light blue property, just landed on my property and paid me $550. Look at this, Elite Gold just landed on Connecticut and just paid me $600. Man, not too bad, not too bad. So now I'm up above $1,200. I have my monopoly of choice, and let's see what happens next. Darn, Andy just passed my properties. I was doing so well. I had 2 out of the 3 that landed on my light blue properties, which helped me get above $1,200. All right, Elite Gold just landed on one of Vita's properties on States Avenue and then paid her $150. So looks like Elite Gold has had to start mortgaging some properties in order to raise some money in order to stay in the game. All right, Vita now has over $300. Let's see what happens. Ooh, and Vita just landed on Go. Looks like Vita is in a pretty good position. Vita has 3 monopolies. She could go and put at least 3 houses on each property. And that's what I would recommend. If you're playing this game of Monopoly, having 3 houses on each property, or each street is what they really are, is where you can start gaining the most return on your money. All right, so I just landed on one of the green properties and I purchased it, not because I like the green property, but I purchased the green property because it's something that I can use to trade later. All right, here we have Vita. Boom, baby. Vita just landed on my Vermont Avenue again, I believe, paying me another $550. All right, I'm sitting pretty, sitting pretty. And I just passed Go, landed on Community Chest. I had to pay $50. But I'm doing all right. Got $1,600 to my name, got a monopoly. Darn it, I just landed on Vita's St. Charles place again. There goes another $150. All right, so now I'm going to do a trade here. So I'm going to trade with Andy, who doesn't have a lot of cash right now and who has Monopoly. So I'm going to trade him the green property for these 2 orange properties that I really want. And I'm going to give Andy 405 bucks. So here I go. Now I'm going to go ahead and start building on the orange properties. I don't have an unlimited amount of funds, and I know that Andy could go ahead and build on his properties. So I'm only going to put a couple of houses on each of my properties for now. So I started to build on the green properties. Now I don't want to spend all of my money there because I know that Andy just got a Monopoly and Andy had some money as well. So I was expecting Andy to go ahead and put some houses on his property, which he just did. And it looks like Elite Gold just landed on one of them. All right, and here comes Vita. Vita just landed on one of my orange properties that I just put a house on. Darn it, I should have put another house on that specific property. But I did come out ahead by 70 bucks. All right, let's see what happened. Well, there goes 50 bucks of that 70 bucks to the community chest. That's kind of a bummer. Let's see what else just happened. All right, so I went and I just landed on Illinois Avenue. All right, so Andy's gone ahead and built up more on his properties. All right, so let's see what happens next. All right, it's my turn. Oh man, oh, that is a bummer. I was hoping to bypass those red properties. I just paid Andy 330 bucks. That is a bummer. So here I go, landing on Pacific Avenue, which costs 300 bucks. And you know what? I don't even have 300 bucks right now. And I can't just go ahead and mortgage something in order to buy it. And that's what I usually do. If I land on something and I don't have the money, I'll mortgage something else in order to buy it because the asset has more value than the cost because you can always trade it. But in this situation, I would have had to sell a house in order to buy this property. And when you sell a house in Monopoly, you have to sell it for half of what you paid for it. So, man, I would have had to sell 2 houses on the orange, or I would have had to sell 3 houses on the light blue, and I don't want to do that right now. And he lands on community chest and gets 100 bucks. 50 of that was mine that I just gave him just a minute ago. So Elite Gold has started to build on Boardwalk and Park Place. Man, that is a bummer for me. That's too bad. Andy landed on Elite Gold's property. Had to pay Elite Gold 200 bucks. Ha ha ha. And also my property. Landed on Vermont. And now Andy's having to mortgage a lot of his properties in order to raise enough money to pay me my 550 bucks. Sweet. Dang it. Elite Gold just passed my properties. It's a bummer for me. And Elite Gold just landed on St. Charles Place, paying Vita 150 bucks. But Vita is going to return the favor, landed on Boardwalk, and paid Elite Gold 200 bucks. So Elite Gold is actually up 50 bucks. Uh-oh, this isn't good. I just landed on States Avenue with 3 houses. Just had to pay out 450 bucks to Vita. That is a bummer. Ugh. All right, so I got $513, and I'd like to buy some more houses, but I also got to be careful because I'm coming up here on the red properties. Oh boy, I'm going all in on it. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 houses on each because I do have some people coming up on my orange properties. So I'm kind of betting the bank here. So if I were to land on Andy's properties, then I might have to start selling some of my houses. But I'm going to go ahead and go all in and see if I can't get somebody to land on one of my properties. All right, here comes Elite Gold. Oh, wouldn't you know, landed right in between 2 of my properties. That is a bummer for me. All right, let's see who else is coming up by my properties. Here we got Vita. Vita's on Boardwalk. Let's see. Oh, are you serious? Passed all my properties and now went to just visiting in jail. That is a bummer. Here I am. Ooh, all right. That was scary. All right, I got a 6, which is good. I landed on a mortgaged property. I didn't land on one of the red. Let's see what, oh, are you serious? Andy went and just passed my properties. That is a bummer. So I went and I put more houses on there, hoping someone would land on it, and I have not had good luck at this moment. All right, Vita, land on my, Yes, Vita landed on Tennessee, baby. Pay me 550 bucks. All right, so now I'm a little bit less stressed here. Look at that. I just went to jail. Probably a tax problem. And it always seems to be something about taxes. All right, so I just went to jail, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm gonna go ahead and build up a little bit more on my orange properties. And I'm just gonna sit pretty in jail and just kind of relax, hang out, see how things go. Now, I'm not gonna try to get out of jail anytime soon. You see, I don't wanna land on other people's properties, and I would like them to land on my properties. So I'm just gonna sit in jail and kind of see how things play out. All right, Elite Gold just rolled and landed on Connecticut Avenue, baby. Awesome. That just gave me 600 bucks and, ooh. Then just rolled another 10 and landed on New York Avenue. So, wow, within a very short period of time, she needed to pay me over $1,100. And she just went bankrupt, giving me all of her properties and assets, including her cash. So I'm now starting to sit pretty, and I'm being asked if I'm going to go ahead and unmortgage the red properties and the green properties, which I don't think I'm going to do right now, because I'd rather have that cash than those properties unmortgaged. Ooh, Vita, not a good thing. Just landed on Andy's Marvin Gardens and is going to have to pay 360 bucks. That is a bummer for Vita. All right, so here I am. And I just rolled and got out of jail. Didn't have to pay the 50 bucks. Woohoo! Landed on chance. Let's see, what does that do? Oh, just gave me 150 bucks. So I am sitting pretty here. So at the very beginning, some of you guys may have doubted whether or not I was gonna win, but how's it looking now? So I just went and I put some hotels on the orange properties, and I'm starting to build on Boardwalk and Park Place as well. Uh-oh. All right, this isn't good. Andy, who just got some money and just passed go, just put some more houses on the yellow properties. Actually got to that 3 house mark. So this is actually a big deal whether I land on Marvin Garden or not. Whew, just barely passed it. And going back to jail, baby. So I'm gonna hide out in jail and just relax for a little while and see how things play out. But if I had landed on Marvin Garden, then that probably would have been like in the, I don't know, maybe $700–800 range. And I would have had to go and sell all of the properties I just put on Boardwalk and Park Place and probably mortgage those properties as well. And then it would have cost me some of the cash that I have. But in the end, I probably would have still had the light blue properties with hotels and the green properties with hotels. All right, here we go, Vita. Vita just landed on my Oriental Avenue and will be paying me 550 bucks. And this is right after Vita landed on Andy's property and paid Andy 360 bucks. So Vita's not looking very well. In fact, Vita's had to start selling some of her houses on the purple property just to pay the bills. All right, let's see what Vita does again. All right, so here Vita is landing on her own mortgage property. So doing okay there. And I'm in jail, and you know what? I'm just gonna hang out in jail. Oh, dang it, I got out of jail. Oh, that's a bummer. I don't like to get out of jail sometimes. I like to just stay there. All right, Andy only has 26 bucks because Andy's gone all in on these yellow properties by putting 3 houses on 2 of them, and then 1 house has 2. Uh-oh, Vita. Sad day for Vita. Vita's the one that traded me Oriental and Vermont Avenue, which I used in order to gain enough cash to build the rest of my portfolio. And then she just ended up landing on my orange property and paying me everything that she had. I'm going to go ahead and start unmortgaging these properties. I'm going to unmortgage the majority of the properties that she just gave me. And now I just landed on Indiana Avenue. Why would I auction this? Man, that's weird. Why would I auction Indiana Avenue? It's just between me and Andy. Well, it looks like Andy has 26 bucks, and Andy would have to sell his houses in order to bid more than 26 bucks. So that's right, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this property for $40, which is something that you can do in the actual bidding process in real life at an auction. Depending on who's there, you can get some really good deals, like the mobile home park that we purchased for $420,000 or $410,000. Because it was just us and one other person, and they looked at us and they said, I think that you want this property much more than me, so I'm gonna go ahead and back out of the bidding. Which was great for us because then we were able to buy this property for a very cheap price, and we've been able to cash flow with it. All right, so now it is just down to Andy and me. Now, some of you guys may have turned this off by now thinking, you know what, I already know who wins. And it's true, I'm going to win the game. So let's go back through and figure out how is it that I won the game. Well, first off, we all started out with the same amount of money, but me rolling the dice, I didn't do very well. In fact, I didn't buy a property until I had gone all the way around the board. And by that time, I think everybody else had 3 properties. So here Andy goes, and Andy is now landing on Vermont Avenue. Ooh, that is a bummer. That's 550 bucks that Andy didn't have all 550 bucks. So Andy is now forced to start selling his houses. And it's sad because he only gets 50% of the value. All right, so now I have 500 bucks. I've now put houses and hotels on most everything that I own. And here comes Andy. Ooh, Andy just went in between a couple of my properties and is able to live another day. All right, so here I go, going to New York Avenue. But I got doubles. Now I'm gonna have to roll again. Do I land on one of Andy's properties? Ooh, not this time, not this time. Landed on chance. Give me something good. All right, going to the railroad, baby. Going to the railroad. All right, let's see what else is next. All right, Andy. All right, and ooh, a 4. That'll do it. That'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Andy just landed on my New York Avenue. Ended up paying me $1,000, which Andy didn't have. So that's how you do it. That's how you win at the game of Monopoly. So the lessons here are, in the game of Monopoly, just like in real life, you want to start out with a few wins. You want to start out with buying some properties that may not be super, super expensive. Get yourself in the game, start earning some money, start earning some cash flow. Then once you have that cash flow established and you can go to banks and they can see what you're doing, that's one of the ways that you can start opening up some credit lines. So now I have some credit lines, I have some cash flow coming in, I'm looking pretty good. Now I can go and I can start acquiring more properties. And as I do that, I have my friends and family and other people start noticing what I'm doing with real estate, and they say, hey, can I lend you some money? Or you can go to them and say, hey, I have this property. I'm looking to see if somebody wants to come in and be a lender on this property in second position, and I can give them a 10% return on their money. And this happened to me quite a bit at the very beginning. I would go to meetups, I would talk with my family, with my friends. And by doing that, I started to get a lot of private money lenders, people who lent to me in order for me to go and buy real estate. And then I would give them a return on their money. Now, most of the people who lent to me, I put them in second position behind the hard money lender, but I almost never leveraged a property over 80% of the value. So that way there was enough equity over and above the total encumbrance of the property, meaning that the first and second mortgage, when you added them together, was less than 80% of the value of the property. So that helped them safeguard some of their money. And they were also giving it to a proven operator who had done this several times, so they felt more confident in being able to lend to me. And then I added them to my WhatsApp group so they could see what I was doing with real estate. And that's how I got started. So just like in this game of Monopoly, I got started by buying as many properties as I possibly could with the amount of money that I had. And then I used those properties in order to trade up to give myself a better position. And then as soon as I had a better position, I maximized that position until I had a lot of people landing on my properties, which then increased the amount of money that I had, which then I was able to use in order to leverage into an even better position, which then helped me win the game. So hopefully you had fun watching this video. If you've stayed until the end, congratulations. You must love Monopoly just like me. And if you're a real estate investor, then I hope that I can meet up with you and network with you at one of the conferences that I go to, just like the Bigger Pockets conference that I'm going to next week. I hope to see you there.